Hello, I'm John Eldridge, and welcome to the Ransomed Heart audio podcast. For more information on Ransomed Heart Ministries, our resources and events, please visit us online at www.ransomedheart.com. These headphones happen to be a little large. Are they the same exact kind?
You don't want to look like Mickey Mouse?
Well, actually, I think I look like Princess Leia.
Hey, you know what? You do. Almost a spitting image. And I'm Boomer Solo.
Boomer?
Isn't that his nickname? Boomer? Princess.
Welcome. This is the Ransomed Heart podcast. I'm John Eldridge, sitting here today with Craig McConnell, and it's good to be back in the studio.
Hi, John.
Hi, Craig. We've been running the Wild at Heart Platinum series and then a series of discussions with some of the other team members, and it's been a while since we've had a chance to just get in and get caught up. And so thank you for joining us. Welcome.
I have memories of you showing that clip for the beauty and the spiritual dynamics of what you were up against by your own staff in the booth.
Exactly.
What is he doing? What?
Right.
You are kidding me.
Ton of crap. Prophet is not welcome in his own home.
It's largely true.
I thought we'd talk a little bit about our summer as we're here in August and it feels like summer is transitioning away. I'm not going to yield that ground yet.
Oh, I know.
Those of us who live at 7,000 feet or higher dread the first snowfall. Oh. But it's warm today. It's beautiful. I'm not yielding that summer is over. But we do have a boot camp next week, and we are shifting our season here. So,
were you up early this morning?
I was.
I was out at 6 in the morning, running the dog out in a park, and it was chilly.
Yes.
And I had that first thought of fall, and I just had to shake it off. No, it is middle of August.
No agreements.
Yes.
No agreements.
So, John, update us. What's been the journey? What has the summer involved?
First, a little setup that I think will help explain the story. Our season at Ransomed Heart really runs from the first event in August, which is either a boot camp or a captivating event, and that's when we really kind of kick into mission, and we run mid-August to end of May. And so June and July are our window to catch our breath and clear our desks off. And, you know, the team goes off and takes family vacations and that sort of thing. So, and it was a very full year. I mean, you were in Switzerland. I did Slovakia and Poland. We did our first ever boot camp in Hawaii for the local guys there, in addition to our normal roster of things. It was a really full spring. It was really coming into summer needing Sabbath, looking forward to Sabbath, in some ways desperate for Sabbath. You know, felt like I left it all on the field, you know, in this last season of mission and just needed some beauty and rest and getaway and little family vacation time and that sort of thing. Here's the story. So as I was praying about the summer, it felt like I think it was around the end of May. And we were making plans and, you know, we've got a college graduate now in Sam. And so that's a new dynamic of, you know, will he be able to join us? What does summer look like? And Blaine was doing summer school overseas. And so, you know, it's just trying to figure out how can we get some Sabbath this summer? How can we get some rest and restoration and beauty together as a family? And I felt this hesitation from Jesus. He didn't say anything in this time of prayer. I was just kind of praying about the summer and just, Jesus, come into the summer and bless it and show us, you know, how to spend it and what it looks like and just come and fill it. And, you know, I knew my heart. I mean, I'm full of hope and desire and you know, I want it to be warm days and swimming in the lake and fly fishing, and, barbecues. And he didn't say anything, but I could just tell in this time of prayer there was just kind of this check, this pause, this the best way I can describe it is a hesitation from Jesus. And what it felt like is, I want that for you too. It's not going to be what you hoped for. And it didn't feel discouraging, and it didn't feel fearful or alarming, but it just felt like there was just this, I'm pumped, excited, getting ready to go, and it could just kind of tell Jesus wasn't sharing that enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And then here's what happened. Mid-June, we get the phone call that my father is ailing quickly, and he's been ailing for the last year, and finally my mom had to put him into a convalescent care and couldn't take care of him at home anymore, and all those issues that you face with aging parents. And so I had gone out in the spring to see him and actually to pay my last visit, because I didn't know when he would pass away. But living several states away, felt like Jesus said, you need to go and say your goodbyes. Well, we get the phone call. It is the second day of vacation. And we get the phone call that Dad's, it was my sister calling, and Dad's fading quickly. And we just knew, okay, we have to recalibrate our plans, expectations. And I didn't feel God say, okay, rush out there, right now. But soon enough, within the next 5 days, we were on a plane, and we're headed into all of the, the crisis and the chaos and the grief of my dad passing away. And that was just the beginning. I mean, that was the beginning of our vacation, but that was also just the beginning of kind of what I would describe as a summer of crisis and chaos, interruptions, feuds with the neighbors, just bizarre stuff, and in the midst of that, I reflected back to May and went, oh, that's what you meant. Jesus, that's what that hesitation was.
And how does that change things, John? Just kind of Christ giving you a little bit of a heads up that this isn't going to look? What?
It's huge. For one thing, it helped me not to go straight to, I blew it, I did something wrong, I didn't hear, when I knew that Jesus was already warning, there was just kind of a sense of the summer's not going to be what you hope it will be. So then when it wasn't, there was a kind of sense of, okay, God, we're in this together. You knew this, of course, and you gently warned me, that was helpful.
Yeah.
That's just simply that. And I think that one of our other themes recently has been joy anyways. The weather was bad during part of the family vacation that we ended up taking after my father's passing, and we tried to kind of regroup later in July, just a couple weeks ago, grab a little family time, and the weather was bad, and again, it wasn't quite what we hoped for, but joy anyways. It was raining one afternoon, and Blaine's like, let's go out anyways. And so we got in the canoe and, went out in the pouring rain anyway. And it was like joy anyways. So I think what I want to say is the summer wasn't what I had hoped it would be. Jesus warned me that it wouldn't be what I'd hoped it would be. But there was also kind of moments anyways of real beauty, laughter, golden moments. I mean, I need to share that as well. It wasn't just chaos and crisis. In the midst of that, there were some really golden moments.
You would think your father dying that your summer would be just kind of grief would be the background, the backdrop for your summer. Has that been the case?
Not really. And part of the reason for that is my dad was dying for a long time. Mm-hmm. So this wasn't one of those deaths, which I have experienced, that is a shock and just an iceberg that sinks a ship, that it was expected, it was planned for. But nonetheless, yeah, there was still, there's still the inviting Christ into it and inviting the healing and that sort of thing. I think that listening to Christ earlier this year, when he said, you need to go see your dad. Mm-hmm. You need to go say your goodbyes. Yeah. Listening to that, trusting that, obeying that, that was huge, because I did have a chance to go out, and he didn't know. I didn't, freak him out by saying, "Dad, I'm here to say goodbye." He didn't know it was goodbye, but I knew, and so I had a chance to sit there in the little convalescent hospital room that he was in. They're just incredibly depressing places, and just tell him I love him, tell him I forgive him. Kind of remind him of a few stories. He was kind of in and out of clarity and Alzheimer's, dementia and stuff. But he would brighten up when I would talk to him, and then I talked to him about heaven and and said, "Dad, pretty soon Jesus is going to come, and he's going to ask you to go with him, and Dad, when he comes, go with him." And I believe that my dad was a believer. He did not walk well with God, but as a boy, he had a genuine salvation experience. And so, but I partly shared that with him because I wanted to see his reaction. Is he ready for heaven? Is he ready to make the passage? Is he, I pushed into that part of the conversation with him to make sure that there weren't unaddressed things and that he was ready. And his response was really sweet. He just said, that'd be nice. Mm. And so I thought, okay, all right, he's ready to go. There's no fighting that, no regrets. And so having had that trip, having had the opportunity to be prepared for this, it wasn't a summer of overwhelming sorrow. It's sure been it has certainly been a time of asking God to come and father me now, asking Christ to come and minister to me. But I think what I kind of wanted to report coming in from a kind of a strange summer was maybe the theme is joy anyways.
Yeah, that's what I hear, John.
Joy anyways, in the midst of loss and all kinds of other chaos and accidents and crises, where I was hoping for, lying on the beach or swimming at the lake or, there was joy anyways. I really want to say that. There's been a lot of joy anyways.
Golden moments.
Yeah. And then here's maybe one of the sweetest moments of all. So I think I'm sharing all this because I recognize that this isn't just my story.
Yeah.
I happen to know that it's your story.
Yeah.
And probably more of our listeners than not, you hope that the birthday is going to be special. You hope that the anniversary is going to be amazing. You hope that the summer trip to see the family is good. We have these hopes and aspirations, and they don't turn out. And but there's joy anyways.
Yes.
Okay, so here's the most poignant moment. I did finally get to go fishing, and there were no fish. It was just 2 nights ago.
And the theme continues.
I know, it does. It does. Anyway, Blaine's about to leave for his junior year in college, and so he and I and Luke went off just for an evening of fly fishing, and there, we literally did not see or catch a single fish. It was really beautiful, though. It was a gorgeous evening, and the wildflowers in the meadows and the beauty of the stream. And we were driving back, and Blaine offers. He says, the ending of summer always just awakens in me this longing for eternity. just this ache of when everything will be good and right. And it was an absolutely picture-perfect evening in terms of the beauty, the sun setting. It was gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Late summer, lush meadows. But, I mean, we all knew it was passing, and that Blaine's going to go back to school and we're going to jump into our season of ministry and life's going to, this moment cannot last forever. And so for him to offer that and then the three of us just to kind of reflect on that as we were driving down in the truck, just saying, right, there's something about this, moments like these that just awaken this longing for heaven, for the kingdom to come, for when the beauty and the joy and the life does come and never leaves. Maybe these thoughts kind of help you process your own summer, certainly the longings, the expectations, the desires. Pray it was blessed for you. I pray if you haven't had a chance to get some Sabbath that you do before life rushes back in on you, but also maybe just to put some things in context and the hope of joy anyways. So thank you for listening. This has been John Eldredge and Craig McConnell, the Ransomed Heart Podcast. For more, please come to our website at ransomedheart.com.